10 to the minus 5 watts per meter squared. As you can see, that was a mouthful of a sentence to say, and that is why we tend to not use intensity to measure sound when we're conversing in everyday language. Decibels is a little bit easier to talk about. Happy sounding. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Damn right, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. Treat you. Hello everyone. I'm just uploading my last video. I have a series of reels on De Morgan's theorem I want to release. There we go. And post. Gotta post it on TikTok, gotta post it on Instagram, gotta post it everywhere and anywhere. Short is the life of an influencer. Hello, Harry. Spooky. Shady. Wisteria. Commander.
Welcome to
Steve.
Rivendell,
Zier.
Anderson.
Terry. Hello. Welcome in. See about the lighting. Artemis 2 shirt. Yes.
No, thank you. We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
And what about very old friends? Very old friends indeed, Herder. Frickin' tier 2, 34 months. Cheers. Hi, Lumini. Welcome in. That's a wonderful cider emote. So yes, this shirt is from Nerduino's merch. It arrived just today, so I thought, you know what? It's a perfect moment to wear it. Gotta support our local Twitch streamers, our science communicators. I hope you're keeping well, Herder. Welcome in. Happy freaking Saturday, guys. Any great news to tell me? This week has been weird. I'm just glad to be here, of course. But if anyone has great news to share, I'll take it. I want to hear all the greatest news. Whatever it may be. Go. Start with the good vibes. Right now. Right this second. Let me fix the lighting of the room. It's a bit weird. This is much better. Okay. And go. What time is it there? It's 4 a.m. here. Oh, Jesus. It is 11:36 for me. So it is not morning. It is just about to hit afternoon. I hope you're charging Arduino modeling fees. Going to niece's 4th birthday. Aw, I'm going to a 3-year-old birthday party. Suppose it's best to call her my niece. But it's my best friend's daughter. And I have the dinosaur costume. She's obsessed with dinosaurs at the moment. So I have the blow-up T-Rex. I think I might traumatize her, though. But the logic is, if we traumatize her, she's going to remember her birthday. Hi, Stooksy. Welcome in. 36-month-old. Yes, it should be 36 months. I think after 3 is when you stop keeping track of the months. Would that be a fair statement? How you learn digital? I didn't. I don't know. I don't even know what digital design is. The answer is I don't know, because I did not do digital design. Blade! 345 stream streak. Holy smokes! It's a kind trauma. Got it, exactly. I will wear this T-Rex for stream, I think, Herder, yeah. Like Zora and NAND gates. Oh, so that's logic gates. That's Boolean algebra. So we didn't digital. It wasn't digital design. It was Introduction to Semiconductors is when I taught it. As in when I was a student, I learned it. In our university, it is Electronic Devices and Systems. So it's taught quite early. It's one of the early subjects. So depending on, yeah, so either first year or second year. usually is when it's taught. So yeah, I thought digital design meant artwork or something. I didn't even know what digital design was there. Hi, Finionat. Welcome in, welcome in. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, y'all. Yeah, Carno maps. Yep, I teach Carno maps to my own students. That's my own subject. So I don't actually remember doing Carno maps myself, but I teach it to my physics students. My physics students know Carno maps and so on and so forth. If you need help with Carno maps, I have a full YouTube video on that, if that's helpful to you. Let me know. I'm sure I can send you a link. I think it's just literally titled Carno maps. Hello, Medjay. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? A bit of discoloration on my skin today. I'm weird with my skin. Not very pimply, just... Did I eat something and it's all over my face? Making something worse. Unusual. Hi, Lind. Привет. It's just every university is different, Zeka, I would say. Somewhere, usually physics students will learn logic gates, but it's usually not a whole module dedicated to it. It's kind of snuck in somewhere. So when I was a student, it was snuck in with semiconductor, introduction to semiconductor. Teach me, please. I'm dumb. Me too. Me too. I'm also dumb. So y'all need to teach me too. I do have glossy lipstick. Yes. There we go. I have Fenty Beauty. Promoting Rihanna's line. She totally needs promotion. Cheeto dust. I wish. No, I think that's a discoloration. I've had a little pimple on the side of my face. It's not even a pimple. It's just like a little red patch. It's really prominent. Jesus. Wasn't that bad when I was getting ready today. Yeah. Touching it is not going to make it better, so I should just leave it. Oh well. 'Tis what it is. Hi all, welcome in Atom Fighter. 3-stream streak, let's go spooky. Poke it, yeah, poke it. Pick at it, make it worse, make it worse, make it worse, make it worse, make it worse. It's been there all week though. Oh, the closed door judging got heated. Jesus, how did you get into the closed door if you're not the supervisor? How did that happen, Atom Fighter? All week, better give it a name. Oh, you only heard about it. Okay, fair enough. I had a few heated moments. They weren't really bad, but it wasn't even between me. It was between me and it was between the examiners. They were arguing about something and I was not involved. So you know what? I was kind of happy. I was like, whoop, my hands are tied. There's nothing to do with me. Love the t-shirt. Looks awesome. Thank you, Jace. Nerduino's merch. It arrived today. So we're supporting Nerduino a little bit, and obviously we wanted to get You were on the committee. That's amazing. That must have been a big defense. Well, look, as long as you weren't the one who was in the heated debate, all is good. All is good. I might switch up the lighting again. I'm looking too yellow. I don't like it. Also, with the glasses and the jeans, I feel like I'm... Is this the 70s or the 80s? No, the skinny jeans aren't right. That's obviously, you know, 2000s, but I don't know. I feel very, with my glasses, the haircut, I feel very old school. Hi, Nixie. Hi, Jimmy. Hello, Michael. Welcome in. Welcome in. Look at those simpletons fighting. Awesome, Shared. Welcome in, Zilber. Does your Artemis t-shirt smell weird? I can't tell. I put perfume on. No. Smells fine. Mine smells really weird even after washing. No, mine is fine. I think something happened to your t-shirt, Jimmy. I don't know. I don't know what happened to your t-shirt. I'm kind of scared to ask. I'll keep washing. Yeah, no, mine smells fine. I do have perfume on, so I'm not sure. But yeah, smells like a nerd. Hi, Tetsu. Here we have a doctoral thesis, Defense Committee in the Natural Habitat. Maybe Tofu's into the smell. Maybe. Maybe Jimmy just has a really sensitive nose and I just can't smell it. Hi, Revan. Welcome in. Happy Saturday. Honestly, happy fucking Saturday. I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad it's the weekend. Nothing bad happened this week. It was just... Ugh. Heading out for your dad's birthday. Enjoy your dad's birthday. Happy Jimmy's dad birthday. That's a weird sentence to say. I am glad it is the weekend. I've booked my appointment for my learner's test. I am learning to drive again. I am being registered on a new car in the next few weeks. I have to learn to drive the car over the summer. I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, I probably won't be able to stream much more than 3 times a week, like I said, because in my spare time, I'm learning to drive. So any time off, I'm gonna learn how to drive. Yeah, maybe we should play a driving game over the summer so we get loads of practice. Yeah, applying for loads of funding. Ooh, I need to double check when the date is. I think it's okay. I'll double check one more time. But I'm applying for some IOP funding. And I want to finish the application, but it's quite long. I didn't expect it to be this long, as usual. GTA. What is RP IRL? What is RP? New PC build survived the first night. Love when plan comes together. What am I looking for? Institute of Physics. There we go. Did they share when the deadline is happening? Yeah. I feel like the deadline was 6th of May or something. Roleplay. Ah, okay, roleplay. Oh, and another thing that I'm really delighted. My nails are falling apart, my real nails, but the great news is... Jesus. Is I've removed the fake nails. They're all gone. I can finally use my hands. I can finally type. Typing has been a pain in the ass with fake nails. It is, yeah. Thank God. Thank God they're gone. No, so I'm not, the story in Ireland as to why it's really hard to drive Atomic, and especially in my cases, if you come from a poorer family, it is absolutely impractical and unaffordable to learn to drive a car because you have to have someone to teach you. So you need someone who is going to willingly put you on the insurance of a car. The insurance can cost up to easily 1,000 or over euro. Then after that, the law is that you have to do 12 legal lessons, and each lesson minimum costs 50 euro. Most of the time it's a bit more expensive, but let's say it's a minimum of 50 euro. So let's just do the maths. You're looking at, what is that, 600 euro minimum on lessons. Then a couple of bookings and stuff like that. That's another couple of €100. And then you need obviously the car to pass your test. So let's say you buy a cheap end car for 3 grand. So you're looking easily 5,000-6,000 euro. And what 18-year-old has 5,000, 6,000 euro? So the reality of it is you learn to drive a car if your parents are very, very good to you and you can afford it. The situation in my family is my family were extremely poor at the time that I was 18 and they didn't have a single cent to spare. Which is funny because they give out to me for not driving a car and I'm like, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Anyways, that's my own thing. But that's specific to Ireland. And I know Sunbeam, luckily Ireland has a great public transport. Oh, stop. Yeah, the public transport system is terrible in Ireland as well. So yeah. A lot of people do that, Atom Fighter. I've heard that people do that. Yeah. In Germany, driving school costs about 4K as well. Yeah, so it's just not, if you come from a family of living paycheck to paycheck, where are you going to get this extra 4 grand? It is, yeah, it's not realistic. So I'm learning to drive at the age of 30 because I'm financially stable to do so. Now, obviously, most people are financially stable earlier, but because I did a PhD and it ruined my life in that sense, it took me a lot longer, yeah. My Irish colleagues hate me. I can imagine Summit. Citrax, 7 stream streak, let's go. Oh, I don't know. I was in the Netherlands and the public transport in the Netherlands. I just amazing. I wish we had the public transport that they did. It is so good. Germany used to be good, but my sister, after living 3 years in Germany, has complained non-stop about German public transport. And I keep telling her, she's like, do you remember Ireland? Ireland's really bad. She's like, no, you don't understand. There is a protest every week. The trains are always late. And sometimes they don't even show up. And it's like, no, that sounds like Ireland. She's like, no, 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 no. It is not. Yeah, anyways. And then the second test where you drive with the test. Yeah, what I do like about America is that, correct me on this, but from my lore of watching TV shows and movies, is that a lot of schools have driver's ed embedded in their curriculum, which is really good. I think that's amazing. I wish we had that here in Ireland, but we don't. Yeah, and in high school. That is so good. Of course, there's always going to be worse public transport somewhere else.
Call it a mine.
Mine. Wrong town. Thank you so much for freaking tier 3, a triple P, what's 6? Quadruple? Triple? Sextuple. Alright. Every day is a school day. A sextuple PP point contribution. Thank you so much, Wrongtown. You're very, very good. Thank you. You're very, very kind. I am well, we just started the stream, so you are going to partake in it being a great stream. So welcome in, welcome in. Hi, Dark Shadow. Yeah, the only reason I'm learning as well now is because my car is automatic. We're getting the automatic car, so I'm going to learn to drive on an automatic because I cannot drive with a gearbox. I'm so bad. I'm terrible. Yeah, so automatic. Good luck with it, Tetsu. Hello there, welcome in, welcome in. So we have 2 things for the science stream today, the science segment of the stream planned. The 2 things I've planned is I'm not happy with our lid design. So look at this lid design we did yesterday or last week, Dr. Tofu. Really good. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It is actually really, really good. Really nice, good seal and everything. But Nathan has pointed out that it's too nice. You know? Students are going to open the box and they are going to take it apart. So we actually need a more permanent seal. So we're going to design a new type of lid instead. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to design a different box with a different type of lid, a hidden lid. Something that looks like it's a sealed box perfectly. So that is the goal of today's stream. We're going to design a new box, and then while it's printing, we're going to build the electronic circuit and test it. Spooky, you know that we can still read everything. Actually, do you guys see Spooky's comments that he deleted? I accidentally stopped short in the parking lot. Oh no. Cheats. Is it just because I'm the streamer that I see it? Does chat see it? Oh, chat doesn't see it. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I thought you all see it. Anyways, this is Hal. I watched Space Odyssey yesterday, by the way. Rewatched it again. It's a good movie. Ah, 7TV and BTTV plugins allow us to see them. Ah, I see. I see. Criminals, otherwise known as. Criminals, the lot of yous. So that's the science segment of the stream. After the science segment, we're going to play games. And the two games we're playing is... what are the two games we're playing? We're playing... Extinction Day and Elite Dangerous. So I'm gonna plan on booting up Elite Dangerous and playing that. In the meantime, my Elite Dangerous YouTube blew up, which was really, really nice to see. And the community is lovely. The Elite Dangerous community are so nice. All of them saying I did amazing in the tutorial for a first timer. And you know what? That's complete BS, but we'll take it. A win's a win, chat. A win's a win. Depending on chat, if using extra extension, etc. Yeah, no, that's fair. Wrong town. Because you're a tier 3, you know that you get a custom sound alert that you can use once per stream. Would you be interested in that? No, wrong overlay. Is it programming? Yeah, I think it's programming overlay that I show everything. Here we go. Hi ho. The only problem with 36 hours in a day, it means we have to fix all the watches. Says watchmakering. Yeah, no, if I had more hours in the day. You know, Mars has 25 hours in the day. And there's something to say about maybe we're meant for Mars. You know? Maybe. Oh. We'll do 80 then. 80 by 45 millimeters. Okay. And the height is, we'll make it 30. Okay. Then we grab another. Ah, do you know what's easier? We just copy and paste this. You guys see me working, by the way? We would probably be working longer and having less free time. That's probably true. Let's I think that would be cool. I've thought about that a long time. I wondered if I could clone myself. But then, does my clone need sustenance and engagement and stuff as well? Because, like, do you make one clone do all the work, one clone do all the sleeping, and one clone do all the entertainment? And then do your clones unite together? Do they share the same brain? Like, there's a lot of functionality concerns with that idea. I've thought about this. I've thought about this, chat. This is a thought I have had. How thick do I want a wall to be? 2 millimeters, I guess. So we'll make it 76 in this direction. And we'll make it 41 in this direction, if I did my maths right. Hi, Fury Knight. Welcome in. No, thank you.
We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
And what about very old friends? Very old friends indeed, Star Shock. Welcome in with your 31 months. Let's go. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for resubbing. Really appreciate it, Star. I hope you're keeping well. Also, with the different experiences, do clones diverge from the base model? Yeah, like, I feel like you need to bring the clones in together at night or something, because At one point, do your clones not become clones if they experience life differently? I thought about this a lot when I was like 11 years old, and I built a plan. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I have issues. But I built like a structured plan of how a lot of the loopholes in clone theory don't fall apart. Slowly but surely, a lot of the things in my life begin to make sense. I started out weird. From early life, the signs were there, Chad. Oh, Rick and Morty did an episode exploring that. I watched Rick and Morty. I don't remember it though. I don't remember that episode. Oh. Shit, I wish I didn't paste that because what I wanted to do was basically... Oh, this is smart. Oh, I'm going to do something so smart. Y'all are going to be like, whoa. That tofu one? That tofu? She's a smart one. Enjoying some sunshine. Yeah, the weather's been gorgeous in Ireland. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the dreary side of Europe. You know the way there's the tomato Europe, there's the potato Europe, there's the vodka Europe. Potato Europe and vodka Europe are two different ones. I suppose there's the wine and beer. Yeah, wine, beer, and vodka is a great way to divide Europe. I think that's the division we should go on from now. Wine, beer, vodka Europe. A self-dissolving clone with a 24-hour lifespan. There's a really interesting... Oh, I might not mention the movie, actually, now that we started talking about clones. And this might be spoilers. But there's a movie. I won't mention it. It's an old movie, though. Hard to know. Damn it. I don't want... Because that's the big reveal of the movie. Anyways, there was a movie of killing your own clone over and over again. It's an interesting kind of moral discussion, I should say, on life. The moon... What happened about spoilers? But it wasn't the moon that I was thinking of. I'm appreciating the autumn. Is that the Australian flag? Please don't... I need to know this. I feel like I know it, but I'm also... Yeah, it's the Australian flag, okay. I should know it, but also I'm nervous. I'm not very good at flags. You know there's some people who are just extremely good at them? But I'm quite bad. How thick do I want it? At least 2 millimeters. Maybe even thicker. We'll make it 4 millimeters? 4 millimeters too thick. That might be too thick, but 3 is a weird number. Because our nozzle is 4, so let's do a multiple of 4, but higher than 20 millimeters. Oh, not 20 millimeters. Oh, wait, is that no, 2 millimeters. So, will we do 2.8 then? Yeah, it'll be a bit nicer. Yeah, that's a great idea. Chat, you came up with a great idea. I'm really proud of you. We'll make the solid as well. And then obviously this is the lid part and we're going to make it super, super flat. Oh, that's not the right button. And this guy only needs to be 1 millimeter. We'll make it 2, just again, the multiple of the 0.4 nozzle. Beer, vodka, wine sounds a little discriminating against religious people. Listen, I feel like we're discriminating more than just religious people in this analogy. If we're going down that route of discrimination, there's a lot of other discrimination occurring. Also, religious people drink, surely, no? Some religions don't allow you, but it depends on the level of religion you take up. Or am I wrong about that? Does every religion actually say you can't drink? Because, like, Ireland is a Catholic country. Very, very Catholic. But also, we have a drinking problem over here. we have minor issues. And you drink the wine at church. Exactly. Gotta drink the blood of Christ. Hi, Kevin. Good afternoon. But not communal vodka. What are we building today? So, I am brainstorming a new design for a lid in my 3D printer. Well, in my speed of sound measurement device. But the lid that I designed earlier is too user-friendly, and it's too tempting for the students to open the box, peer into Pandora's box, and peer into the electronics and break it apart. Because let's be honest, we need to bomb-proof this. Not bomb-proof it. We need to child-proof this, she says as a university lecturer. Yes, we are children at the age of 18, 19. I know, it may come as a shock, but you're absolutely a fucking child. Anyways, I was a child for a very long time. Sometimes I feel like I'm still a child. But you are a child for a very, very long time. Jesus provided alcohol. He did. Mary went up to him one day and was like, listen, son, I really need you to perform a miracle because I talked you up to all my friends and said you were this amazing dude. And we ran out of wine at this wedding. Could you turn all this water into wine? There we go. He made water into wine and everyone had a great party. You know, if you really think about it, Jesus is like a pretty sound bro. If you listen to a lot of Jesus Christ's teaching, he's quite a leftist. Just saying. Just saying. All right, so this is the lid without any alterations. So if we jam the lid on, this is like perfect to size. It might be too tight. So with that argument, with that statement, what if we were to shave off ever so slightly a dimension? So in this case, out for delivery. What's out for delivery? I didn't order anything. God damn it, people. Anyways, it wasn't me. I didn't order anything. Is this proof of concept? Yes, exactly. So we're testing it a little because I need to make like 8 of these in future. So I'm trying to be economical, invest early. But also I don't want to be wasting filament. So I didn't just design a small lid. I decided to actually design a useful box that I could use for my lip gloss. Or something. I also have this little octopus I thought about sticking on. He's a cute little octopus. Look at this little guy. Can confirm I was the water. Okay, so what we're going to do is I think we're going to change this dimension just a tiny bit. Just a very tiny bit. So instead of 76, we'll do 75.6. Did I do the maths right? 75.6. If my nozzle is 0.4, did I do the maths right there? Kevin, 5 stream streak, let's go. And then we do this 40.6, right? Why am I tofu? It's just minus. I'm just. Anyways, that's it. No, we don't need it airtight. It doesn't need to be airtight, just secure. Not airtight, just secure. That's what we're going for. That's the vibes we need. All right, so this is it. We're just going to test proof of concept. But also, I want to make this useful, so I might as well, you know, actually do something with this. Bamboo, not bamboo, Bambi. God damn it. To love, to love. Hmm? Oh, yeah, I also want you to live. You raise me up so I can be a Bambi. You raise me. I'm going to store treats in here. Can it withstand a drop? It should. Yeah. I do the standard fill. I don't do a light fill, you know? And then we morph that and hope for the best. Not bad. All right. Bambi. Name in Bandora, so hopefully the students don't open it. That's a good idea. All right, I think this is a good design. This is a great way to test the lid and see if it works. And after that, we will use those 2 boxes for personal use, so we're not wasteful of material. And then go on and finally design it. I should take note, though, of what I did here. Kind of important. I'm terrible at taking notes. It was the same problem during my PhD. I didn't take enough notes. I was like, I'd remember that. And I didn't. Ah, there it is. Sound box. And we were measuring. Lid off by nozzle each dimension. Oh sure, thanks. It's from Nerduino. Nerduino's a science communicating Twitch streamer as well. He does mostly space stuff. And I highly recommend you guys check out his channel. Hi, Murd. I called you Murd. Welcome in, Mord. Hope you're keeping well. Say his name again. Nerduino. There we go. I just gave a shout out there, in case you need the spelling. So we're gonna boot up my my Creality here. Oh, I didn't check that thing, by the way, Tarig. You know, the thing you sent me. I haven't played around with it yet. It would be a good idea, especially if I want to do 36-hour streams sometime. Like, I could just set up the 3D printer going all night for projects. While I have my 4-hour power nap or something. No! Do you know how I'm going to open it, Zier? That's the plan. We're going to test it. Maybe we should have a little gap. But the whole idea is that I don't want to tempt my students to touch it. Students are very bold. I don't know about... Well, they're not. They can be very bold. You need to bomb-proof these things, if that makes sense. You need to prepare for the worst. I do think that comes in handy being a secondary school teacher. Like, these are some things that a lot of lecturers just are not prepared. Like, don't think ahead of. I unfortunately had the training where I had to. Okay, it looks good. Please make sure there are no models on the print. Well, am I a model? We're testing a lid design, Rakla, for a speed of sound measuring device. Yeah. Completion time, 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour. Maybe some barbed wire around it. Yes, that totally won't be an issue in health and safety. All right. So we are 3D printing it. It'll take about an hour to print it, and we'll test our lid design then. If everything goes well, we'll actually have a good prototype by tomorrow. If everything works out now. And she spoke and she jinxed it. There we go. It's all over now, guys. It's all over. Game over, man. Game over. Don't worry, we have loads of stuff to do today anyway. 3 stream streak, let's go. I knocked on wood, don't worry, we're safe. Thank you for having us covered, bloatware. "36 hours a day? Have you consulted Bambi to make sure..." Oh, sorry. That we are okay with this change. Spaghetti in production. We are No, it's not spaghetti. It's just poop. First poop, then spaghetti. Yeah, that was the first print from the Creality 3D printer in the background that's working right now. It's the new i7. And it's just to, you know, you always need to test your print. But yeah. His name is Hal. Say hello, Hal. But we 3D printed loads of stuff. So there's a skull. There's a tentacle holding my mic. There's a demon core right there. Yeah, a few stuff. I did not 3D print that Artemis. That's a Lego. Hal or Hal? You know which Hal. You know which Hal I'm talking about. Am I crazy or is my camera angled? It looks very straight to me, but I feel like I'm... Do I look like I'm at an angle? What do we think, chat? Your background is angled. No, you're not crazy. It looks... Look. Yeah, it looks very weird. Get the level. The room is tilted. You know what? It's just the room. Maybe Tofu's actually in a spaceship. Ever think about that, chat? Why do you think she's so terrified of spacewalks? Ever think about that? That meme, aliens. Okay, so what do I need for this? I need a nano ultrasound. I've never done this in a nano. I hope it works. LCD screen, wires. I don't remember what I need for this project. It's been a hot minute. I need to build the circuit for it. I did build a circuit first. Oh, I did take notes. Why? And I don't know where I put my notes. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Anyways. It's not my obstacle avoiding robot. The ultrasonic sensor. Would that be it? Sounds right. Sorry, chat, actually. You guys just disappeared from me. Let me pull you up right now. I'll pull you guys up. I'm afraid I can't do that. So you lived in the underwater base before when playing Subnautica? Ooh, that's true. I mean, did you ever get to see the outside? And Tofu says she's a lecturer, but did you ever see her go and lecture? I don't know, chat. Did you really think about this first? I don't think you all thought about this properly. I don't think you thought about this. I think you're all wrong. Continue with recommended cookies. Yes, please. I need a pot. Son of a patat. Do I have a pot? I do. I do. I have pot. Let's go. Before anyone misquotes me and I get cancelled, this is what a pot is. All right? Do not chat. Stop it. I know your fingers are on the clip button. So now, not a flower pot. I do have a flower pot too, actually. This is my cactus. Would it be original to say we've called him Spike? Oh! Spike had a baby! Oh my god, look! Look! See that? Ow! Down, Spike. Look, Spike had a baby! Oh! Repotting this is going to be awful. Don't touch the baby. Don't touch the goddamn baby. Okay, so we have the pot. That. Let's get a breadboard. And some wires. That's everything I need. Okay, I think we have everything, chat. We can build this. We got this, team. Should we start building now or take a break? It's too early for a break. Yeah, I haven't even talked enough yet. I need to talk shit for a solid hour non-stop before I need a break. Alright, I'm gonna pick you up, chat. I'm gonna bend you over. Here come upsies. There we go. Right. So, we have an LCD screen. Satisfying sticker removal. That Ultra's emote is so good for that. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're building the sensor for... Oh, little wire. We're building the nano setup for the... Oh shit, where's my nano? I forgot the nano. Okay, don't do this to me now. I bought a whole bunch of nanos. I know I have them. I bought 2 new nanos. Where are they? Oh, not this shit again, chat. Not this shit again. No, I can't do this all over again. Actually, now that I think about it, I used 2 of the nanos for my project, so I only have 1 nano left. So where is that nano that I have left? Where would... If I... Okay, yeah, I'm picking you back up, chat. We're looking for the nano. If I were a nano, where would I go? Any thoughts? I were a nano, where would I go? I even have a little thing called nano, but there's nothing in there. Damn it. Why does this keep happening to me? Like, why am I always a victim? Why do the nanos keep running away from me? Is that SOB? Oh! Suck up a tat. Maybe it's... No, that's not it. God damn it. This is so annoying. Hmm. Aww. My nano. It was, yeah. It was at the bottom of my drawers in the storage, but it's not there at the moment. That was a different type of nano. It wasn't a pre-built one. It was the one that I needed to solder, and then I soldered it wrong. Didn't you show us it on stream? It was the wrong one. So this is the one I was showing it to you, but this was the historic one that I soldered incorrectly. When I bought a packet of nanos, I bought 3. And so I used 2 in the project, and I would have had 1 left over. So bad at losing my stuff. I really need to clean the room. Time to print a nano box. You know what? This is going to be our nano box from here on in. Arduino nanos go in here. Even the broken ones. I start this now. Chat, this is your evidence. This is my nano box. From here on in, all my nanos are going to go in here. Doesn't solve my problem right now, though. Okay, look, we can still build the electronic circuit today. We just can't solder anything this weekend. I'll check one more time. Anything good or interesting? Wait, I found it! Woohoo! All good. What would you do if you were part of Artemis 2 mission? Shit myself is probably the honest answer. We found the nano! Let's go! It depends what you mean. Like, am I an astronaut? Absolutely not. No. Do you know if you've seen Project Hail Mary?
Good news, everyone!
Good news, everyone. We found the nano. If you watched Project Hail Mary and you saw Grace react to being an astronaut on it, that's me, but I would not have been able to do. Okay, now I'm being held captive by this box. I have no idea how to open this packet. Hi, Daniel. Welcome in with your 40 stream streak. Let's go. Damn, how do I open this? I'm actually being held captive here. Alright. Open the packet and voila. We have a nice pre-soldered nano. It comes in this nice foam to make sure that the pins don't bend, which is nice. Okay. Alright. Lab rats and labradoodles. Time to get cracking. We got a lot of work to do today. Even if we don't want to do the work, we got to do the work today. What's up? I have a box of wires on my lap. Here we go. Looks like Tofu's making... Oh, it sounds like Tofu making popcorn. I wish. I haven't made popcorn in ages. We usually make popcorn not in the microwave, but in packets. As a child, what science experiments have you done? None. I actually wasn't a sciencey kid at all. I would say I was nerdy, but not necessarily science. Like, I was into history for a long time, animals, but never proper science, never physics, chemistry, or biology. Not until I was an adult, so I never really did any experiments. So I guess that's a reason, possibly, why a lot of people point out how excited I am about even the simplest things. And some people can be very pessimistic and be like, "Ooh, I did that when I was 6 years old." It's like, that's great. But I just had a fantastic eureka moment and linked it to other fields of physics that I study, which I thought is fantastic. Summary of my rant there. I'm pondering making cup coffee water heater. Sequencing clone tasks is normal for a kid. Yeah, no, I had a lot of thought experiments, that's for sure. I do admit to having those. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to power our brother board. Our brother board. We're going to power it with this guy here. This is going to be our V in. There we go. A mine. Valiant Otter, welcome in. 15 stream streak, let's go. Oh, I forgot about my Gestrel Tofu emote. Now that Cora is playing through the game. Through Expedition 33, we can get a chance to use some of our Expedition 33 emotes in there. Welcome in, welcome in. What do you teach in physics? Everything. On social media anyway. But my lecturing subjects are general physics 1 and 2. So I get to teach a little bit of everything, which is nice. And I teach a lot electronic devices and systems, thermodynamics, and what's the other one? DC-AC fundamentals. So those are all my fields of interest. I don't teach it, but I do electrochemistry as well. Or at least I know a lot about it. And I know a lot about battery technology, wind turbine, energy integration, renewables, electric grid stability. Obviously, just through my PhD. Yeah, it's resized. I got my wedding ring. Yes, I did. C'est mon wedding ring. So, if I remember correctly, I need trig to go into pin 9. Trig goes into pin 9. Where's pin? Oh no, this is not a female to female. Whoops. That was a female to female. Get some of those in here. Sorry. Where's my female to female? Pin 9. 9. There we go. Found it. Need a digital pin to the trigger. And then we need another one to the echo. Yeah, no. Radio project is already done. The other one that we bought everything for, but we didn't build it, was, what was that project? The Theremin. There you go. The problem with that project, and those projects generally, that I have an issue with, is that I don't know how to troubleshoot it. Because I don't understand so many parts in it, it's really hard to troubleshoot it. Those projects are a bit too big, I think, to truly understand. You can build them, but, yeah. The stream title is a whole mood. It is, Aria, it is. Ah, I want this to be live. VCC. And this to be ground. I'm running out of female male parts, actually. It's all male male and female female. Oh, there we go. I need to buy more DuPont wires, or I can solder them myself. I have a whole kit, but... Or not solder them. What's it? Cripple them? Crimp them? Crimp their style. There we go. Got there eventually. Okay, so the ultrasonic sensor is connected. Data science or spacecraft engineering or so. You never know. Life finds a way, as one famous scientist said before. You'd be surprised. I also thought I didn't like experimental stuff when I was... I don't know what your age, by the way, is, but if you're doing a bachelor's degree, I'm assuming not much older than when I was doing those things. Yeah, just don't close all the doors, is what I'll say. Hopefully you go on placement. You'll get some experience. Yeah, life will teach you a few things. That sounds like a threat. I did not mean to threat some... I just threatened someone on Twitch. I'm sorry. I take it. I'm just gonna shut up now. My pot. My legs. My poor legs. They're almost broke. Let me fix the legs of my pot. I broke my pot! Ay, ay, ay. Ah, damn it. Chad, it's all your fault. I had a chewing gum packet somewhere where I had a whole bunch of electronics. I wonder... There's a pot in there. I don't have a pot. Okay, so now that the leg is broken off my pot, what do we do? Well, we could just put 2 resistors in here. I don't know how much, though. I'm just gonna use 2 5Ks and see what happens. I don't know what else, like, I genuinely am kind of flabbergasted. I know I fucked up, I get that. There's no need to rub it into my face, chat. But also, you know, YOLO and all that. So we'll just put this here. Yeah. We'll do this to here. And then from this to ground. And right in between, we will put a wire in. Turns out resistance is not futile. I mean, you learn from your fuck-ups, right? Exactly! That is the best way to live your life. I've learned also that that's kind of the way I live my life. Not just science. It's how I play video games. It's how I deal with a lot of things. Obviously, like, I'm not talking about mistakes that cost people their lives or something like that. What I mean mostly is just... Maybe it's because I'm stubborn and I don't like taking advice from people and all these other issues I have. But generally speaking... I rather just make the mistake and see what happens. Alright, so I put the connection basically between two resistors. Okay. What's the next step now? These are all going to be female-male connections. I really don't have enough, I think. Do I need to crimp a whole bunch? Didn't I order some? I feel like I ordered some wires recently. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think 1 more for the road and we should be okay. 7. Okay, so we have 7 female to male connections. Hi, Bravo. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. We're almost there. Okay. So, we're basically mostly just powering the LCD screen now. So, the first one goes to ground. The second line goes to live. These connections are a bit flimsy, but we'll do the best that we can for now. This next connection goes to live. There we go. Next up, the fourth connection is a female to female connection. And for that one, that was the fastest crimping. No, I just looked long enough in my box of chaotic wires. The fourth one goes to pin 1, which is actually pin 3 in my code. I remember this off by heart. Is it analog 3 or is it digital? I think it's digital 3. And the reason is because pin 1 and 2 in digital are, do you know those TX and RX connections? And it turns out I had issues with that last time. See? Learning from my fuck-ups. Next pin goes to ground. And after ground goes into pin 2. So 1 more wire here. Pin 2. Digital pin 2. Oh, I need a female connection. Pin 2. Where's my pin 2? There it is. Nice. Pin 2 complete. Let's go. All right. The next few pins are all actually female. 4 pins female to female. I'm going to do the satisfying thing of connecting them all 4 together like this. Oh, let me do it the opposite way. Oi. Ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. And last but not least, 4. There we go. And then we'll connect all of these guys then in... Oh, which way do I go? So the white one that I'm holding in my hand right now needs to connect to pin 4. So let's look at the digital pins again. Digital pin 4. There it is. Pin 4. And then everything after that, pin 5, pin 6, pin 7. Pin 4. Pin 5. Pin 6. Ugh. Last but not least, pin 7. There we go. Let's get them in there to secure the connection. Oh, geez. They really don't want to go in, huh? Get in there, you bastard. There we go. Nice. Oh, broken nail. That's okay. Nails are overrated. All right, so we've connected all to the nano. And the last 2 connections, we need a female to male. We need a ground and a live. So we connect this last guy to ground. There we go. And connect this other guy to live. Ah, that's really cool. Is it like a proper lab? And is there like a, not a white room, what is it called again? Clean room and stuff like that? Okay, I think everything is done, chat. I'm going to pick you up again. Do not be alarmed. Hi. Hi, how are you? How are you? How are you? So let's boot up our IDE and cross our fingers and our toes that everything works. I am feeling positive. Well, I have no choice in the matter. This is my last nano. I need to order more nanos and probably more DuPont wires. I wish when you order DuPont wires in bulk that it could be like specific ones, because I have loads of male male and female female. I need male to female. I just had a bunch of them here. I just realized. It's okay. These are really short though. I need long ones. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. I cut myself under my nail. Ew. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. See that red stuff under my nail? It's a cut under my nail and that's all blood. Ew. Kind of hurts when you poke it. Probably stop poking it. Isn't that the joke with the doctor? Doctor, it really hurts when I poke it. Well, don't poke it. Yeah, no, there's something about pain under the nail. It's actually so nasty, isn't it? Let me check what connection we need for this nano. I have it already. I think I do. Come here. Come here, my nano. So I need to buy wires, nanos, and pots. Remember that. Don't forget that, chat, okay? We're making a shopping list after this. Okay. Where's my mouse? Let's boot up IDE so we can upload stuff to it. What if I were a sound measurement system? What would I be? Ah, that's really cool though. Pretty cool of you working in repairs like that. I think those kind of jobs are really cool. Like if I couldn't be a lecturer, I would love to be like a technician and my job is to like build stuff. They'll just say, listen, we have a problem. We need a Hall effect measurement device. Could you build me something? I don't know how, but I'm going to try. If I were a measurement of speed sound, what would I call myself? Would I call myself ultrasonic? Let's test it. It might be. It looks like it. Let me show you. Programming. This might be it. I am using those pins for the LCD, yeah. Yeah, this might be it. All right. Let's see if it works. Oh. Yeah, system not found. Why is the system not found? I plugged you in. Sorry, chat, that was me. I was never good at maths, so that's limiting. I don't think I was particularly good at it either. I was okay at it. It wasn't that I was good at it or anything, but I did enjoy when I was really stuck for a long time. When you finally solved the problem, there was such a satisfaction towards it. I suppose that's same with programming. You experience that as well with programming sometimes. And it's like, oh yeah, that was... I finally figured it out. This makes me feel so much better. And then you have to question a bit like, well, do I actually enjoy programming, or is it because I'm suffering for so long and suddenly I get a sudden rush of relief that that's the only reason why I enjoy programming? And after a lot of self-reflection, I realized I actually don't like programming because of that. I program because I have to, not because I enjoy it or I'm good at it. Mach. Can you solder a wire on the broken part? I could have. Yes, I could have. But we're trying to build a prototype, so we shouldn't be soldering anything. All right, let's see if this works now. Oh, unknown. Access denied. What do you mean access denied? Who's denying me access to my own nano? The cheek of ya. Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this, chat? That's obviously the wrong file. This is the file I need to upload it to. Arv dude, sir open, can't open device, com15, access is denied. Have any of you seen this? This is first. Let's just close everything. Boot it up again. Access denied. That's new. Maybe run the Arduino. No. I am admin already. That's so weird. I've never seen this before. This is a new nano, but I've never had an issue with new nanos before. Oh, someone solved it. This is the relevant message. Do a Google search for this. Okay, thanks. They're thinking that it's an OPS connection. Oh. I do have a new IDE version that I've been delaying to upload. Maybe that will solve it. We'll see. Look, let's try. Let's try a few things. I think it's just trying something new. Hi, BG. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, let's install all the new stuff. You want this app to make changes? Yep. Yep. The odds are you have the serial monitor serial plot already open on the port, or possibly another terminal program. I don't think I do, though. That's weird. That's so odd. You may hold down any type of reboot. No. So I don't have that on the Nano. Recommend is close the serial monitor. Okay. Oh shit! Just closing the serial monitor work. The heck? Alright, well, it works. I'm getting nothing on display. Of the LCD at the moment. I think, though, that could be a resistor issue. Oh! Flimsy wires. Crazy going on. No, good. So, my LCD is lighting up, but I don't see any numbers on it. What we might do is we might need to change the resistor values. Remember we had that issue with the pot? So, yeah, one of these wires just keeps connecting. So, if I were a resistor, what would I want? I guess... I'm going to assume it was a 10k pot earlier. Ow. And let me unplug. And if I'm at 10k pot and I was at maximum, then I'd have a 10 kilo ohm on one side for some resistance and a 10k on the other. We're going to try that. Obviously, the other part about it is, if I get this wrong, I need to flip it upside down. Oh, the other part. Work. Okay, still doesn't work. One of these wires are so flimsy, it keeps popping out. That's assuming that that's the issue, of course. Okay. Maybe the Nano doesn't have enough RAM to keep up with this programming. Never done this on a Nano before. Alright, last chance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug it again. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the resistor order. If that doesn't work, I think we're pretty much doomed. I'd have to troubleshoot the LCD screen from the beginning. Okay. Ah, no, it works! It was a pot issue! It was a pot issue! Let's go! Na 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 na. Let me show you my pot. Well, not my pot. In a world where you wish... Oh, I don't know if you guys will see it. Can I see the numbers? Yeah, as far as my camera will go. 2,487 microseconds. Let's go! Our prototype works. Suppose the next step is to solder everything. Want to do that today? Why not? Why not? We're still young. The day is still young. It's not even 1 o'clock. We've lots to do. A bad pot, exactly. So it was a crude plot we created. Just to figure out that Pico W I bought from China is not in fact a Pico W, but rather some... Oh, is it some, like, knockoff? No, I'm not a Dubliner. Goodness, no. We'll stay away from the best as possible from Dublin where we can. So what we're gonna do... The lid is almost finished for the 3D print. I'm looking forward to that. What we're going to do is I'm going to go make a cup of tea. I think it's too soon for alcohol. Usually after like a couple of streaming breaks, it's alcohol time. But I started a stream really, really early. I technically started in the morning. So it's still tea time. So we're going to make a cup of tea. Maybe have a biscuit. And we'll come back. Will we solder? Oh, I know Ballybriggan. Make Irish coffee. It doesn't count as alcohol. But when we come back, I think we should do some soldering. Yes. I think we can make do with all our wires. The printer looks complicated. Did it take more than 50 minutes? Listen here, you little shit. You little... Does anyone else call you that, Spooky? Or is that the only, is that your like, is this place the only place where you get to receive that endearing term? What are you printing? We're printing a lid design that we want to test. That is not unique. It's not a unique name calling, is it? No, I'm not fluent Irish. I don't speak much Irish at all, unfortunately. Did it for Leaving Cert. Spoke it a bit. Couldn't get the hang of it. All right, we'll go for a quick break. We'll team up. We'll come back and come back stronger than ever. Stronger than yesterday. Da, 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 da. So a quick revision of how capacitors work. Let's say if I put it into a DC circuit, you have two metal plates. You apply voltage in your circuit, and the electrons from one side of the plate are all going to start moving towards the other side of the circuit. Over time, there's not going to be any electrons left. And so you have a positive net voltage buildup here, a positive negative buildup of electrons here, and you have a big voltage difference across these two plates. So initially, when you first click the switch, there's loads of current going through. But as time goes, more and more and more of the electrons are built up on the other side, and you're basically losing current. You don't have as much electrons to work with, and as time progresses, you have less and less current. So that's the basic principle of how a capacitor works. Now, let's look at the classical design of a passive filter. This is your voltage in, your voltage out, a capacitor and a resistor, and then you flip it across here. So one of these is a high pass filter, and the other one is a low pass filter. We'll figure out which one it is. So let's think about it. We have a current coming in, and AC current is a wave, right? Whee! And it's coming into our setup here. Think again how a capacitor works in a DC circuit. If you give it enough time to charge, basically the current is going to get less and less and less. However, in an AC circuit, you're constantly changing polarity, positive and negative, positive and negative. And what if I was changing polarity super quick? What if this time was very, very small? What would the current be? Because we're alternating the current so quickly, we don't give it enough time to charge and discharge the capacitor fully. The capacitor is saying yay, because it doesn't get enough time to charge. It allows loads of current to go through. It passes through freely and easily. It's very, very happy. So this is what we call a high pass filter with a capacitor. But another interesting thing that we can do is that we can switch the resistor and the capacitor. The reason there's a resistor in there is because there is this whole filtering process and what frequency you're going to be operating in. I highly recommend, again, checking out the organic chemistry tutor video that I've linked in this video, because there's no need for me to repeat the same thing. I would say exactly the same things as he does. Now, when we flip the resistor and the capacitor here, we have a wave coming in, as always, in the V in, and it could be a really high frequency wave or a really low frequency wave. We don't know. Dun, 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 dun. And there's two paths it can take. Well, because a capacitor loves current that has high frequency, right? It wants to allow that current to pass through. Something that we say in this field is that it has low impedance. It has such low resistance that that type of current would rather take this path. And there's a ground usually in the system and it gets filtered out. So the high current coming in, the high voltage, the high frequency waves coming in will be passed around in this direction and to ground. They get filtered out, which allows the low frequency, the slow waves like this, where we give them loads of time to charge and discharge, which means low current. We allow them to pass through easily, and we call this then a low pass filter. Just to reiterate before, the high pass filter allows the high frequency waves to come in, but if you have a low frequency coming in, it blocks it. Because no current is going to get through. If you're giving it too much time to charge and discharge, if you increase this T more and more and more, it's just not going to pass a whole lot of things through. Now, the same principle can be applied to an inductor. Let me show you. Now, if you invest a lot of time in studying this, my recommendation is study one thing, like high pass filter with the capacitor, and study it thoroughly. All the equations, like I said, for the organic chemistry tutor, from my videos, from other people, and just study that super, super well. Understand the physics, understand the equations, understand the theory, and if you learn that one really well, not only will you know how to do all the other passive filters with inductors and capacitors, but you'll understand notch and noise cancelling and all of those other filters that exist for passive filters. If you know one extremely well, you know them all, because they're just opposites or inverses of each other, which is very similar to what an inductor is. So earlier I said a capacitor is two plates, there's electrons on either side, you extract all the electrons from one side, put them all in the other, build up of electrons here, not a whole lot of buildup of electrons here, the opposite, and you build up a big voltage potential. An inductor is a little bit different. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Let's say we switch the current on in an inductor and current starts to go through. The way I explain how an inductor works is the inductor panics, right? It has all those coils wrapped around, and there's a magnetic field associated with the electrical current. And so when the electricity starts coming into the inductor, it panics. It loses its shit. And it's like, no, hold up, you cannot pass. You cannot pass. I am so confused. Let me sort my coils out. Let me sort out my magnetic field before I let current go through. So initially, when time is 0, there is no current. And then as time progresses, the current is going to increase more and more, because the magnetic field sorts itself out, the current is allowed to pass through more and more and more until it reaches the point that it needs to reach. And I realize that my graph is slightly wrong, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. This is the problem of not having a script and doing this all from memory. Well, the counter argument is this is as authentic as my brain gets. So you get to enjoy how my brain functions. Now, this time we have a low frequency wave coming in. Sorry it took a little while. I went and grabbed some, what are they called? When we were kids, we used to call them pissy beds. Dandelions for Bambi. So, grabbed some dandelions, gave her some nice flowers. Hello, Ebandria, welcome in. A cheeky Jammy Dodger, exactly. Oh my god, there's Jammy Dodger emotes. Holy shit. To be fair, I'm being a cheap cunt. It's the knockoff ones from Lidl. They're cheaper. Jammy Dodgers are getting expensive. Biscuits are getting expensive. I don't know if that story is true, but do you know the story about Jaffa cakes and why they're called Jaffa cakes and they're not classed as biscuits? Jammy Dodgies. There was supposedly a tax in ancient Britain. Terrible terminology. But there was supposedly a tax on biscuits, and so Jaffa cakes had to really sell themselves to show that actually Jaffa cakes are not biscuits, they are classified as cakes. I think the general idea is when biscuits go stale, they go soggy. When cake goes stale, it hardens. And that's the classification for Jammy Dodgers. That is a rumor I learned since I was in 6th class, and I don't think I've unlearned it Someone can correct me if they're right or wrong in it. But that's the rumors I've heard. Okay. On connecting this. That's just me, in case anyone's wondering. Our next step is going to be to solder all of this together. I had last Monday. I got through in the coding round. Awesome! That sounds amazing. Eminger, I wish you luck in your further interview rounds. That is true. McVitie's took the HMRC to court to prove that Jaffa cakes were exempt from the chocolate biscuit tax. Oh, it was specifically chocolate biscuit, was it? Fair enough. That's funny. That is funny. All right, let's clean up our desk so we have room to solder. We're achieving all our goals today, chat. Today is a productive day. I feel like I haven't had much productive days recently. I don't know. After the semester kind of ends a bit, it's really... I find it quite difficult to be motivated at work just because it's so quiet. Yeah, it's very quiet at work. It'd be quite difficult to be motivated, even though I have loads to do. I know I have loads to do. I need to write a paper. I need to apply for funding. I need to finish correcting. But yeah, the semester's over. Well, look, I need a good long break from teaching. So all summer, I'm just going to teach Twitch chat instead. Lul. That's true. I remember the Americans did get quite upset about all the taxes. Okay, so I have this thing here. I'm not sure how to cut it. I have smaller proto boards for sure. But this is a nice soldering little thing I have. So we're just gonna... This makes me so worried. It stinks of copper. It stinks of copper. And like, anytime I smell it, I'm like... Oh. Shit, I forgot I need to set up a Stripe account. I'm forgetting to do that. Do you know what I might do? I might actually get a knife. You know, like a knife? You know what else I found though? I found these. I don't know how good they would be. They're garden shears. Do you think garden shears would be good? I just need to create a weak point. That's all I really need to do. A bread knife for the breadboard. True. I'm gonna try and just slice a piece and see how it works. Maybe that's a little overkill. It is, I know. I need a ruler. Achoo-a-woo. Okay. Problem is I have nothing to cut this with. I have an idea of how to snap it, but I just don't even have the... Oh, class! Oh! Let's go! It's actually quite breakable. Nice! I did it! Look at that. Pretty clean too. I mean, it's not that clean, but, you know, close enough. We take it. A win's a win, chat. A win's a win. So we just need, like, one common ground, one less common ground, and a bunch of resistors in there. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I have new soldering too, but I'll use up my older solder. God damn it. I keep thinking about the word and the best way to pronounce it. I don't believe myself anymore. There's at the back of the fourth of the 3D printer. If you attach a pizza circular cut wheel to that with the mats. Hi, Bulbadin. It's almost done, my 3D printer. 2 more minutes left. So we might not start the soldering project yet. Hiya. Oh yeah, we're bleeding as well. I forgot about that. Yeah, my nails are breaking after all that pretty nail stuff. Don't recommend doing pretty nails. They're not very functional afterwards. Yum. Okay, where do I start? Yeah, I guess I kind of want to replace one of these wires first. Although I do have a whole bunch of female to male here. Just not very long. Maybe I don't want long ones. To the nano to the board. Yes, from the nano to this, we'll make short wires. But for the ultrasonic sensor, we'll keep it long. You know? Okay. So let's start. We'll solder one connection just to start off. Then the printer will be done, and the printer will be done sooner than that, of course, but we might as well, because oh, and the Artemis shirt in the background. If this is not the coolest soldering setup to watch today, I don't know what is. Speed of sound measurement device with an Artemis t-shirt in the background. Nice. We need to make sure that if anyone new coming into the stream comes in, that they know that we're nerds, you know? It has to be known, chat. Otherwise, you know, what can men do? What can men do? I'm just adding a bit of flux again. My printer's about to beep at me. Grab the solder. The edge a bit. And here we go. Do. Oh god, my hair. My hair went into the solder. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I'm saying solder now. I feel like I've been talking about the American version so much that I am becoming American. All right, not bad. So this is going to be all the live connections. So we might as well put them all in. Exclamation mark nerd. We should do like a... Do you know the way Nas set up the code for the... what is it called? The IQ test? We should have the same one, but for nerd test. Hold it here. Atatrabitten. You're gonna have to explain that joke to me. I want to get the joke. Teach me in the ways of your humor. Oh, great spooky. That's weird. Why is it in? Oh, there it is. Odd connection. So these are the only connections for live. Solder all these. There's a lot more grounds than there is lives. Actually, it's not a lot more. It's just 5. Part typo, part a terabyte, and solder. Ah. Oh no. I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh Jesus, my eyes are watering. Ooh. It's okay, chat. Nobody cry. If you guys start crying, I'm gonna start crying. So no one cry. Okay? Oh. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Tears. Your tears don't fall, they crash around me. Plumbing dimensions have kind of stuck around for a while. I still need to investigate the origin. Yeah, no, you're right about the plumbing though. When we were like home fixing stuff, it's actually interesting to think just how common a lot of the connections are. Like, is there a plumbing society that sat down and agreed, you know what? We'll make tubes size A, B, and C, and these are the only types of tubes that we'll make. Did anyone in the plumbing industry come along and be like, you know what? We're going to capitalize in this one field, and we're going to make plumbing tubes a certain exact size, and we can only be purchased from us. Does anyone know any plumbing lore for that? Sorry, guys. Have I been muted for like a little while? I've been talking nonstop for a while, but I just noticed my mic was muted there. Have I been quiet? Oh, 2x4 is a metric. Nope, nope. Okay, good. Good to hear that my yapathon wasn't wasted then. Okay, I fucked this up. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I'm a disaster.
And they
Loki,
call it a
hello!
mine. A mine!
You call this a mine? Thank you so much for the sub. Welcome in, welcome in. 9 months. That's a Twitch baby. That's a Twitch baby. Holy smokes. Doesn't Curly have something crazy about Twitch babies on her stream? Or she puts... Oh yeah, if you make a Twitch baby with her, she locks your name in a gate or something. The inch was originally defined as the width of a man's thumb. The fuck? The width? Fuck off. There is no way. That's insane. That's a massive ass thumb. That's like a giant's thumb. That's what Google said. You know that? Well, I was going to say the conspiracy theory, but I don't know if it's really counted as a conspiracy theory. But have you heard about the idea that giants ruled the world before us? The governments are hiding all the evidence of the giants ruling before us. Maybe that's what's going on. The giant thumbs exist. Are they inside Hollow Earth? I don't think so. I think the giant, according to that conspiracy theory, I think the giants are dead. Why do I know all of this? Lads, I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't. You know, conspiracy theory people before were only on the internet. And as I'm living my life, I'm meeting them IRL. It's quite alarming. Be surprised just how many of them are among us. Maybe you won't be surprised. Maybe you all know about this. Yeah. Fighting lizards. Not the best connection, but it'll do, pig. It'll do. Are they really in charge, though? Camera, let's turn off the solder. I'm gonna call it solder half the time now. A protoboard like that with high impedance circuits. Flux turns into salt and soaks on the board, causing high resistive shorts. Just something I've learned. Yeah, so I'm learning more and more about soldering because I'm building a lot of measurement devices and stuff for like really sensitive sensors. Even though the length of the wire to the sensor is different. Yeah, soldering can be such an asshole, and weird things that you never thought of would sneak up on you. Yeah. It can be difficult, for sure. Hear the sound? I want someone to do that to my back. I feel like it would solve all my life problems if someone could just replicate that sound with my spine. And keep me alive, of course, in the process. I'll pop and lock. All right, let's see if this lid works, this lid design, because if it does, we have a design for our speed of sound measurement box. Look, it says Bambi, so we're going to store treats in this. Fuck. Oh no, okay. Shit. That's insane. I only did 1 millimeter off. Not 1 millimeter even, 0.4 millimeter off the dimension. It needs to be tight lid. It's loose. Shit. I did on this side and this side. Yeah. Can you imagine though? I didn't. Yeah, jeez. All right. Well, look, we live and learn. We live and learn. We need it tighter. We need probably the exact same dimensions then. Precious. Hi, SEM. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the 5 months. I always think of your name as SEM, like the scanning electron microscope. Thank you so much for your prime. You're very kind. Love your shirt. Thank you. It's really, really good. Nerdwino. It's Nerdwino's merch. He's another Twitch streamer who does like loads of NASA and space stuff. So we're glad to support his merch. If you want to check out his channel, you're more than welcome to, if we can get a shout out for him. I meant all 4 sides. If so, the difference does add up. I guess it does, yeah. I'm a dumbass. Such a dumb. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, the solder is off for now. Let's go into Tinkercad really, really quickly. We're going to try one more print. It's still early, right? It's only 1:30. We've loads of time to ruin our life. Hi, Spin. Welcome in. Just print the lid. Yeah, exactly. Print the lid only. Good idea, good idea. I was going to print it in a new material because that's silk I'm printing it. Silk is misleading over just standard PLA. So that was the other thing I was thinking. But you know what? Let's boot up Tinkercad. We're making a speed of sound measurement device. Actually, no. Fuck off. No. Leave. Is this it? Magnificent Kronk Lulia. Is that the project? Say, let's tinker it, because it's not showing me a preview. No. Chat, you were wrong. There we go. Tinker this. So what we're going to do is we're going to print the lid again, but we're going to fix the dimensions this time. We're just going to print the lid. And we're going to do a tight fit. We're going to see what a tight fit is like. Oh, the Bambi words. So, we're going to unmorph these. I forget how to do that. There we go. I'm going to make that 76. And this... Oh, that is 45. Aw. No, I think I'm clicking the wrong one. 76 and... Yeah, 41. 41? 41. 41? 41. What's wrong with me? All right, so that's the last print. So we're going to export this as an STL, and we are going to import it in our Creality app. Saka patat. Let's delete the previous guy. We're going to slice the plate. All right. Not too bad. Send to print. PLA, the silk one, and then start print. Right. Please make sure there's nothing on your print. All good? All systems go. Let's print this baby. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Like a little place to put the screwdriver in where we could pop it open. We could do that. Let's just check the firmness first. So if that were the case, if we want to build that, I would say that the latch needs to be in the box itself. Does that make sense? Like a little hole where we can put in the screwdriver and go pop it open, you know? He says Bambi. All right, let's hope this print works better. Let's zoom in on my soldering again. Let's turn this on. Heat up the iron and go back to soldering. So we've connected all the positive ports. The next job we need to do is connect all the negative ports. Let's zoom in. There we go. Maybe on the corners that could hold the lid if the lid had holes on the proper positions for it. So that's the design I had before, I think, Tarek. I'm kind of trying a different one. I think, if I'm not misunderstanding what you're suggesting, but I could be wrong. It's obviously hard to properly explain the tofu, much less the tofu. So this device is to measure the speed of sound using sonar. Sonar is a popular enough exam question for students when you're teaching them about the speed of sound. So what I've decided to do this year is to create a experiment where they actually get to measure the speed of sound. Now, although the experiment is quite simple in some ways, in other ways it's quite difficult because I hope to introduce a little bit of statistical error in this. Like they have to do statistical error analysis, and that's my hope anyway. That's one. But number two, it's just because it's at the end of the term, most students don't tend to answer this exam question in my experience, because I don't know about you, but towards the end of the semester, I was not attending the lectures as much as I should have. Maybe throughout the whole semester, but that's a different story. Anyways, the point of the story is that it's to encourage students to practice speed of sound calculations, because we weren't very good at them. I don't know what it's like in your universities. In my university, the one I teach in, the one I attended when I was a student, we had mandatory lab attendance. You didn't have to attend the lectures, but if you missed more than a certain amount of labs, you failed a subject completely and you had to resit it completely. Does anyone else have that in their STEM fields? Better. Yeah, you have it in Australia, yeah. So we have the same thing here. Most engineering students that I know of, they also have to do that. This idea that they're not allowed to, if they do not attend enough labs, and if they don't pass the labs, they fail the subject. So on top of yeah, it's pretty normal in our universities here in Ireland that you need to not only pass the exam and just have a total passing grade, you need to also separately pass the lab practice, or the lab aspect of your course as well. Late semester lab stuff is the bane of my existence. Failing STEM. I did that. Listen, we all did. We all did. I failed. I failed one subject in my university as well. Look at me. I'm a fancy lecturer. I'm a fancy scientist. Totally. I got a first class honors, by the way, in my bachelor's and my master's, but I failed in second year. I failed mechanics. I want to sit there and say that actually it's not my fault. I was working full time and I couldn't attend the 9 a.m. lectures and I failed. And there's truth to it, but there were other classes as well, you know, that I didn't attend and I didn't fail. So there is an element of I could have worked harder. Definitely could have worked a lot harder to pass mechanics. But luckily I passed everything else. It wasn't a hardcore fail. We have something called compensation or compensating fail. It means that if you failed one subject but just barely and you did so well in everything else that you're allowed to continue your graduation or continue your course. The idea behind it is it's not nice to hold you back with one subject, especially if you just barely failed it within 5%. It's a sapphire. It's a black sapphire or a dark sapphire. I'm not sure what the proper name for it is. It's like a really concentrated sapphire rock. I arrived 4 hours late to my exam, but it was an 18-hour exam, so I was still allowed to... What? An 18-hour exam? That's insane. Fuck off. No way. Holy shit. That's no joke. 18 hours. Yeah, it depends. For me, Lex, in that case, it just depended on the lecture. Some lectures you could not afford to miss a single class. You missed a single one of their class, it was over for you. It was game over, man. But some lectures, I'll be honest, I didn't attend a single lecture. The issue with me is that I tend to predict exam papers, and that's why I did well in school. I didn't actually learn anything. I just studied for the exam. I worked efficiently instead of properly. Hi, my favorite streamer, favorite physicist. You're too kind, Spin. You're too kind. Hopefully I'll stream more over the summer once the semester's over. Actually, the semester technically ends next week, but obviously I'm still correcting exams and doing stuff like that. But I hope to stream one day extra. Starting, not this weekend, but next weekend. Next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday stream. Dun, 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 dun. I also applied for the front page on Monday. I don't know if we'll get it, but if we don't, I'll still stream the exact same topic I was going to do, if you guys are willing to put up with me. My plan was to do a crash course electronics intro. If you guys are into that. So it'll be, and if there's any students revising for the summer exams, it'll be perfect. It'll be teaching everything from BJTs. Maybe we'll skip that, but it'll be logic gates all the way, hopefully, to building a 7-segment display. That's the goal. I don't know if we can achieve it, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I have the same soldering station. I bought it on Amazon. It was like a really cheap one. I just really badly needed a soldering station. I hope to get a nice one. There's a really nice one I see online. It's a Swedish or a Finnish company. They're called Solder without an E at the end. And it's a fan and everything. It's a whole suitcase with the whole kit. And it looks amazing, but they're a bit expensive for me. I think it's €200 or something. But it is an investment with the fan. I feel like I should get it. I'm kind of broke. Helping out a few people with money at the moment. So whatever extra money I thought I got with my promotion is going elsewhere, unfortunately. Sure, 'tis life, as they say. Sorry, I'm blocking a lot of the soldering stuff I'm doing. I just need to get a good look at this chat. Sorry. Bear with me. If you survive theoretical physics, I'm sure you will do absolutely fine with electronics. Electronics is a lot of fun. It's where the beauty of your application or the theory comes to life. And like, you tend to learn some really basic stuff, like basic systems, and you'll get a few aha moments of, oh, so that's how that part of a computer works, or that's how this works, or that's how that works. And it's just, honestly, really, really beautiful eureka moments in your brain. I love that. I live for the eureka. Instead of doing drugs, I just study physics. When I get those eureka moments, that's the high I ride. Who needs drugs when you have moments of understanding in physics? A certain princess maker streamer got a sponsor sold. Yes! Yeah, no, they even follow me on Instagram, Spooky, because I followed them and I was supporting them where I could. I don't know. I don't feel bad cold emailing big companies for a sponsorship. You know, because big companies can afford it, but they're like a Kickstarter. They're an indie company. I don't know if that's a fair statement, but they're, you know, they're just starting out, and I feel like I'm being an absolute and utter cheeky fecker for asking. You know, maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. But yeah, I feel a bit guilty about that. I'm just gonna check my 3D print real quick, see how it's going. It's 12 minutes left according to the reality computer. Not a sound praised. It actually gives us a display on the LCD in time, in microseconds. So you measure distance with a meter stick, you measure time with the sensor. And voila. Okay. So this is the positive port. Make sure I get the resistors right for this. Woo! What the hell just fell? Something fell in the background. Hope it wasn't important. Natural highs from doing a good job are the best highs. Honestly, they really are. Having a project that you suck at or aren't very good and then having little wins is a great high. I've never been tempted to do drugs, I guess, because of it. Well, no, actually, I've never been tempted to do drugs because I'm scared of them. But, yeah, I've never got a chance to be adventurous in my life in that sense. But like I said, I don't need to. Yeehaw. We're going to clip these wires in a little while. But just for now, I'm going to have them up like this, solder them, and then clip them afterwards. I'm really hoping the lid works, because then we can really build and design our box tomorrow. Maybe even finish it. Guess we could. Ideally, no. Like, sometimes I could start the stream early just to set up the 3D printer in the background, and you guys are just watching the 3D printer do the work. But in this case, it's the opposite. I need to design it first. The most dangerous activity I do, other than driving, is cleaning my roof gutters. That does sound dangerous. That does sound dangerous. Studying uni exam to study physics. Wish me luck. I do wish you luck, Spin. Wish you the best of luck with that. I wish the best of luck to any students studying at the moment. Even my own. Y'all need luck to pass your exams for me. Mwahaha. Nice. Okay, I got a good connection there. I'm gonna let it cool for a second and we're gonna snip it. I really should tie up my hair, but I don't have enough hair to tie a thing. I think maybe some hair clips is a good idea. There's a bit of a health and safety risk, like. Yeah, I guess when I was a PhD student, I actually never had short hair. I started growing out my hair during my PhD. Resistor's connected. Great. This guy is to ground. Yeah. Get your leg in there. Go on. Go on. Go. Yeah. Pull this through. Well, unlucky for you, Leviathan. I don't know much at all about PCBs. Ugh. That was lucky for you. Let me see if I can push the resistor a little bit this way. Pull it through. Pull its leg through. Just read the summary of a report. Renewables pushed fossil fuel generation onto reverse. What does that mean? I don't quite understand that sentence. Could you restructure it for me? Okay, so we'll bend the legs over. Now, unfortunately, the resistor is kind of sticking out. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can zoom in a little bit more. There you go. It's not perfect. It's because the resistor is just too big. I should have probed its legs a little bit further apart. It's a weird sentence to say. But instead of doing that, I was just kind of being cheap and saving a bit of space. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to finish soldering this. We're hopefully would have not shorted anything. And then after that, we're going to check the lid. And hopefully everything's going to work. Might be my most productive stream yet, to be honest. Jesus Christ, Lex, that's terrifying. Ah, I see, Duck. I think I understand what you mean now. That is really cool. For is it net in the world or is that for a specific country? In the world. Oh, cool. That's great to hear. I mean, I know most European countries don't use coal. Maybe a few in Eastern Europe still. I'm thinking about it now. But yeah, most is gas of the non-renewables. Because gas is considered so much cleaner. But you're right, though. Even in Ireland, I don't think we have any coal. or permanently in operation. We have a backup coal generator. Oh shit, I created a bubble instead of a suck. To heat up. I don't know about oil. Definitely gas though. I'm not sure about the oil part. I actually don't do much research on oil. I do a lot of stuff for Ireland. Or I have done. I don't know, I still do. But yeah, I'm not sure about oil. I use oil in my house. That's how I heat my house. It's an old house. So we're hopefully going to get the grant for the heat pumps. That's after we insulate our windows. I think our next project is window insulation in the house. And then we're going to get the heat pump. That's our next 2 goals. Maybe solar panels by then. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Last soldering connection, and we're done. Game over then. Oh, no, I have had music. I was like, oh, are you guys just listening to the background noise of a 3D printer as the background mood? This seems to be fine. There seems to be a bit of music in the background, which is nice. Oh shit, I need to put on some flux. Flux really helps. I know I used to be anti-flux when I first started, because I was stuck in my ways, resisting change, but I've become a lot more pro-flux. Turns out, this thing that people invented to help you solder actually helps to solder. Who would have fucking thought? Who would have thought, lads? Alright, not bad. Well done. That is everything. Let that cool for a second. Cool for the summer. Have that guy hanging over there for a bit. Turn off this. Zoom you guys out. Guys up. Upsies. Let me unplug my solder. Last time, or not last time, but when I did unplug my solder, I forgot I unplugged my PC. It has happened on occasion that has been done. Hi, Layla. Thank you. Two minutes left for the 3D print. I was thinking about doing something. Story of my life, I know, but I feel like I was going to do something important and I forgot. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I did get a haircut last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. A little while ago. Yeah, tofu OG skin. I released a YouTube video today. And I think it's come out now. And I wonder if you guys will enjoy it. Like, find it useful. It's a video on how to actually learn physics. Advice for my past self. The problem with this video, of course, is that younger me wouldn't have listened to me, you know? But I thought it might be a nice video to share, because people ask me that question sometimes. So I'll post it here, but also I think it'll be nice to watch it together while my 3D printer is finished. I probably did some editing errors. New video on how to learn physics. So, very important point about this video is that it's actually how to learn physics, not how to study it. These two things, in my mind, are very, very different. I actually do not think they're the same thing. Studying and learning physics are two different concepts and ideas. So we'll put it here for you guys to see. I gave myself a there you go. I gave myself a thumbs up even before watching the video. Look, it's me from the past. I actually filmed this yesterday and edited it. All right, we ready? Is dedicated to the people who want to learn physics. This video is dedicated to the people who want to learn physics, science, or general STEM. I would like to say that this is a video for my past self, but knowing my past self, I wouldn't listen to me. But perhaps one of you out there will. How do I learn physics is a question that I get asked quite often on my Twitch stream or on my Instagram socials. I studied physics in Ireland as soon as the subject became available. So from secondary school, general science, to Leaving Cert physics, college general physics, master's in applied physics, a PhD, and then ultimately being a lecturer and a researcher of physics. I also have a degree in teaching.
Show off,
so
is what I said.
I feel like I have some qualification in this area. But most of my advice today is not going to be so much as academic statements or research, but rather personal experience and advice. I'd like to start this premise by highlighting that I'm teaching you how to learn physics, not to study physics. There are two very different things. Although in an ideal world, they would be the exact same thing. The reality of the situation is that that's not entirely true. And so my first piece of advice would be, number one, be honest with yourself. And this is going to be the hardest one. You need to be honest with yourself when you don't understand something. You might have an illusion of something. You might study something and learn it off, but you don't necessarily understand it. And there's a lot of self-reflection that needs to occur before you truly understand what you don't understand. This is a really true and amazing power to have. Without this piece of advice, the remainder of the advice that I'm about to give will not be possible. This is extremely important. Be honest with yourself when you don't know something. My second piece of advice on how to learn physics: identify what you don't know, or otherwise know what you don't know. Although it sounds a bit redundant, it goes hand in hand with the first piece of advice with being honest with yourself. Once you identify the fact, you know what, I do not understand this topic, it'll be an extremely important step into even just starting where to study or where to begin your learning journey. Sometimes in the middle of a lecture or a class, you might have zoned out, you might not have paid attention, might have fallen asleep, you wake up and your lecturer says, "So, does anyone have any questions on this topic?" And you don't even know what question to ask because you know nothing. Working backwards until you identify the point, here is where I lost track, here is where I have good foundation, but I don't know where to go forward, is extremely important. And again, goes hand in hand with being honest with yourself to identify this. My third advice: do not learn off, understand. This is something that I have only honestly begun to do as a teacher, as a lecturer of physics. Before, when I was studying for exams, I did learn off things. I had to do that to pass the exams. But once you begin to teach and once you begin to have passion and love for physics again, you realize that you know nothing then. If you're forced to learn off something, do you have a conceptual understanding of what's going on? I understand learning off names or parts of the apparatus of a machine, but learning off a theory makes it seem like you don't understand conceptually what the theory states. It's okay not to learn off constants, but hopefully you know in an equation what is directly or inversely proportional to one another. The equation expresses something fundamentally in physics, and what correlates to what and how should be part of your understanding of that realm. It might not be perfect, but at least enough understanding that if given enough time, you could figure these things out. So do not learn off equations. Do not learn off laws or theories, but rather try and understand them. For example, let's look at the ideal gas law. Look at the ideal gas law. The equation is PV is equal to nRT or PV is equal to NKBT, depending on which one you're looking at. You might not remember what Boltzmann's constant is, but hopefully you get a good instinct to understanding why pressure is directly proportional to temperature, or why pressure is inversely proportional to volume. You have an imagination or a visualization of gas particles and how they behave when you squeeze them, heat them, change their volume. This is where instinct is developed, and I think that's very important. Advice number 4 in how to learn physics. The fourth piece of advice goes in parallel with the other one, and it's just more so a specific practice, is that most of physics is solving mathematical problems. You have a problem and there's a whole lot of derivations, subbing in values until you get an answer, sometimes numerical, sometimes a derivation of a certain expression. The goal, however, is to understand the consequence of your answer. Have you ever stopped to think, well, I've derived this whole equation to determine the expression of the velocity of the electron in the end, but what does that actually mean? In most cases in examination process, the exam question is designed to provide a eureka moment, an aha situation for you. And it's important to reflect on that aha moment. Always link your mathematical concepts to actual theory and ideas. My final piece of advice has only been developed in the last few years, with all my years of teaching on social media and lecturing. And finally, it is something that is called the Feynman method. The best way to truly learn something is to teach it. Now, most of us aren't going to be teachers or lecturers, but there is a skill involved in communicating your learning to someone who doesn't know it all. I get the honor of practicing this with my significant other, and I always know that if he doesn't get it, then absolutely no one will. If you're a little bit introverted and you don't have anyone to rely on, the rubber duck method is a great idea as well. Speak to a duck, like programmers do when they have a problem to solve, and explore where your logic begins to fail. And that goes in parallel with every other advice that I taught you. You identify what you don't understand then. You're honest with yourself, which is why you can identify this. And you don't learn anything off. You focus on understanding it instead. Like I said in the beginning of my video, ideally this is me spouting all of this advice for my past self. But like I said, I know my past self and I wouldn't have listened to me. Just remember to never stop learning. And it doesn't matter if it's physics or science, and if it's completely other subjects in the world. Keep your brain active, keep learning, never stop. Keep learning, never stop. There we go. It would mean a lot for me if you guys could, check out that video. I know I already showed it to you, but if you could click on the video on the top, give it a view. We're so close to being fully monetized on YouTube. The library music is really, really loud. Yeah, it would really mean a lot if you could. If you want, you can leave a comment and a thumbs up. That would mean a lot too. Muchos gracias. Hi, Cora. Lurk away, lurk away. I'm kind of funny. More complex the talk is, it actually makes me more alert. I found all of this true in business as well. When I would hire new people, they often didn't know what they didn't know and didn't understand why we did the things the way we did. Yeah, no, I think there's a skill involved in that. And again, it goes in parallel with all the advice. This is why degrees are important. A lot of people say college is a scam. Okay, and it's like, but I could learn everything on YouTube because there's people like me on YouTube who give education. And that is true. That is true to a certain extent. But how does someone who has no understanding of physics or curriculum or structure or the topic that they're interested in how to study, how do they start even to search for someone like me on the internet? Because I'm not going to pop up as a recommended for anyone. How do they look up something like that? So that's where the skill involves. It's what identifying, I don't understand how passive filter works. I understand how a capacitive and an inductor works, but as soon as we start talking about a passive filter, my mind breaks. And so they Google passive filters. Hopefully they'll find some videos on it. Either me, obviously I do amazing videos, but I always recommend the chemistry tutor. He used to teach me when I was a student, so highly recommend it. Hi Nada, welcome in. The world has fallen beyond my understanding. Spooky, I was so close to forgetting how to learn. There's a skill in learning. Now, I'm very, very lucky that in the last 2 years, I've been teaching new subjects all the time. But as of September next year, I'm not teaching a new subject anymore. there is no need for me to learn anymore. So I could fall into that well of not needing to learn anymore and forgetting how to do so. Because I see it all the time with older lecturers that they've been teaching their same subject for 10, 15, 20 years. And if you ask them to cover a new material or introduce something new, introducing something new just goes against the bane of their existence. You know, they just will not allow it. Obviously, maybe for other reasons, and I'm not going to shit talk anyone for their own passions. It's like someone coming into my world and telling me how to teach. I'll be pissed off too. I get that. But there is an element of like they will refuse to teach a new subject because they've lost the skill to do it. That is sometimes one of the answers as to why. Yeah, no, there is a lot of concerns. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on the literary crisis in the United States, but I experience it on social media all the time. You know, I don't know what your education was like. In Ireland, we have the subject English, right? We study poetry, we study Shakespeare, but one of the main stuff is that we write an essay, and so our writing gets evaluated, but also most of the section is comprehension. We're given like a paragraph or a text, and we read it and we interpret it and we analyze it and we try and interpret who the audience is for. That's just to graduate from school. We're required to learn how to do that. But you see it on the internet all the time. Someone will post something. Maybe I spent too much time on the internet, and to be honest, that is true. But someone will post something, and it'll be something like, I fucking love blueberries. Blueberries are the bomb. And the highest rated comment is, what about strawberries? Are you telling me you hate strawberries? Are strawberries the problem? Why would you even mention blueberries? It could be something as silly as, I know this is exaggerated, but there is a lot of that kind of communication that there seems to be a bit of a crisis. And you might say, tofu. That's just a couple of comments. These are the highest rated, upvoted comments. This is what the public thinks, or the social media internet thinks. So that's usually ever so slightly alarming when I come across these posts. Hold up, these people speak my language. That's nice. Pastry with blueberries and strawberries tasty. It was tedious as heck. Yeah, Chris, but it's so important to have learned that skill. I think so anyway. I know it doesn't seem that it's that important, but yeah. And there's obviously the crisis in the United States at the moment, the reading ability of a lot of kids. I don't understand how that happened. I don't have stats on Ireland at the moment. I know teachers are complaining about children, but teachers have always complained about it. It's very hard to really see what's going on. That makes sense. We need like proper statistics, but I've heard that specifically United States, there seems to be a problem at the moment. My YouTube is just filled with that at the moment. I have a lot of teachers who quit school. We've been hypnotized into everything needing to have a discourse, or their feelings are invalid. Someone else's yum is both an attack and a yuck in our yums. That's a nice language. Yeah, the iPad generation are coming in. So next year will be my first time teaching the Gen Alpha, is it? Is that their proper... Yeah? Is it Gen Alpha? The next ones. The Gen Alpha are going to be in uni the next year, so I'll be teaching them. I'm interested to see, because I already see an issue with computer literacy with this generation anyway, so I'm already tackling that. I wonder what it's going to be like with the others. Oh, while we were watching the video, by the way, the lid works. It's very tight. It's a very tight fit, right? And it does not come off. Okay, so let's do a test. Fuck, it didn't even break. Not only did it not break, but the lid didn't come off. That is a tight print. And the only way it comes off is have a really small thin screwdriver. So we might make a little cut. Because I'm struggling to open it now. We might make a little cut in the 3D print, a little line, just to make it easier to stick a screwdriver in and to pull it open. But yeah, there we go. It works. I think this is the lid design we need to go for. So we're abandoning this lid design because it's too easy to open and students will break it. And so instead we'll have that. Sorry, I missed a lot of chat. There is a lot of that, and yeah, I've been hearing that. I've always wondered, you know, obviously I'm hoping. I haven't really talked about it much, to be honest, but I do hope I have a kid or two. Lana, thank you so much for the resub.
We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
And what about very old friends? Welcome in, Lana, welcome in. Thank you so much for the 34 months. We're just talking about children and this generation. Yeah, I'm really, if I'm lucky, I'd be happy to have kids. But maybe it's not in the cards for me. But if I do get lucky with it, there is a discussion of, should I homeschool? Should I not? I have the skills, and I know if the parent is educated in that field, that they're better off usually. But also, I want them to have a childhood, be around kids their age, have fun, be bold, get into trouble, you know. Definitely. Are you allowed to homeschool? I think so. I think you are. Carrig, we will see you. Take care of yourself, and hope core stream goes well. So I was using Tinkercad there, but the next one I'm using is Fusion. Fusion is the one I'm going to do. My 16-year-old uses AI for almost everything. Oh, that's crazy. Like, I get it that we use AI now, our generation. But, like, I did my whole education without AI. I did my PhD before AI became a thing. Actually, it was just at the end. It's crazy to think the development of the brain. If I were 13 years old and I had AI do everything for me, it's alarming to think how the brain functions after a certain time. Also, a lot of very interesting YouTube videos on that, about intelligent tests or like assignment work and stuff like that being done. And it shows a huge drop in everything, in mathematical ability and literacy and everything. Back in my day, I only got the internet pretty much in college. We were able to use the internet for educational purposes, but... Hi, Delara, welcome in. Hello, Chatton. How did the 3D print come out of your new 3D printer? The 3D printed 3D printer is doing extremely well, thank you. Is the pop quiz not a thing anymore? Well, so something that we do in our university is we have exams. You can't bring in a phone. You can't bring anything. You have to sit the exam and you have 2 hours to answer it. But like I said, there's also the lab aspect. I've adjusted my correcting criteria now. Because AI can't do a few things. And I'm not going to reveal it. I'm not going to reveal what I know that AI doesn't do well, because my students are going to find out and, you know, beat the system. So no, I have a correcting criteria that I know AI can't beat yet until it does. So even if you're using AI, it's not going to help you much, if any. Yeah. But because we have exams, It really still tests the ability of the students. The issue, I think, comes up mostly with continuous assessments. Do you guys have anything to check essays? Yes. So Turnitin and all of them have AI, but legally and academically and morally, we cannot stand behind the AI test. I wrote an essay, an abstract for my recent presentation, and it went through Turnitin, and it said that it was 76% AI, even though I know myself that I did not write it in AI. I wrote it myself. But it came back saying that I use 76% of the abstract was written using AI. If you speak at a high language, like if you write well, because I'm not trying to be a pompous prick and say I'm amazing, but you know, I have a certain level of skill of writing. I have to. Partially, I did subjects as part of my degree in it, but also it's part of my master's, part of my PhD, part as researcher. I need to know how to write well, and the AI learns off people like us. So obviously, I'm going to write in a style that isn't too dissimilar, and AI, yeah, takes it away. If you look up a lot of the vanadium stuff as well on AI, it pulls up a lot of my papers in my research group anyway. So a lot of the stuff that I end up writing is stolen by AI, and AI says I stole it from AI when AI stole it from me originally. So it's all over the place. Oof, finger's so sore. Maybe tofu is a synth. Maybe. Exactly, Zed Match. So the better, the gooder you are as a student. I know that sounds a bit weird, but the gooder you are as a student, the yeah, the more you're going to get flagged as AI. So good students get punished. It's the extreme. The worst student who uses AI gets flagged for AI, and then the best student who does really well gets flagged for AI. So yeah, most academics cannot stand behind the AI. You might need to show proof that you didn't use AI. But yeah, like I said, I don't find a struggle in correcting my own students. I found my own way of making sure that they don't use it. It's not that they don't use it, it's easy to catch it and they'll get it wrong anyway. That's true, Nada. You're right. You get used to everyone on your phone, and now we give out to kids. We see a 5-year-old eating breakfast and watching YouTube on their phone, but their parent is doing it. I do that. I watch YouTube while I eat food. I eat by myself, of course, but you know, back in my day, we had to eat at the dinner table with the whole family, and you know, it was quiet. There wasn't any movie. There wasn't any TV in the background at the dinner table. No phones, no nothing. Well, that was before we had phones, sure, but still. It was quiet. It's so true. You were having dinner on a Sunday watching Star Trek as a family. That is a dream, Chris. I saw those glasses, the recording. Oh my God, that's crazy. I'm like some of it is really really cool, but also maybe I'm crazy, but I'm scared of those. They can be used for so much evil. There's a lot of evil in this world, and I feel like they could be very easily used for evil. Yeah. I'm just going to test this really quick to see if it works. Cross your fingers on your toes, chat, that everything works. Oh, where did I put my cable? I feel uncomfortable not being the only Chris in the room. Chris? Me, Chris. Faraday will be. Oh, yes, simply Mr. Faraday. God. Yeah, if I had to rank my favorite physicists, oh, sorry, that was me. Would it be Rutherford? I want to say Feynman is in my top three, but he was actually a jerk. But yeah. Yeah. More like Faraday would be rolling in his cage. Ugh. Ugh. Let me plug in my... USB. Here we go. Hey, let's see if the baby works. Or did I short something and break anything? Oh, let's go! She's alive! She's alive! It works! Alright. Our technical stuff works.
Pull the lever.
Wrong. Wrong lever! Why do we even have that lever? So, about here to here. I'm gonna do a crude measurement really quickly. About here to here is about 15 centimeters, let's say. Here's my calculator. Do I have a calculator here? Oh, for fuck's sake, why do I know anything ever? Okay, if it's, let's say 16 centimeters. Let me grab a calculator really quick. I'm just doing some quick mental maths here. Calculator. So if it's 1,200 microseconds roughly by 10 to the minus 6. 10 to the power of 10 to the power of minus 6. Okay. That's the time it takes to do 16 centimeters back and forward. 16 centimeters plus 16 about 0.32 meters. So 0.32 divided by 0.0012 is equal to 266 meters per second. Okay, that's not too terrible. The speed of sound is 340 meters per second. That was just a crude measurement anyway. So at least we're in the right dimension. Okay, sorry, back again. My ACL paper got rejected today. Dweeb, I'm so sorry. I know it feels like such a struggle, but Jesus Christ, rejection has to be part of the process. I got rejected recently for funding and I got my feedback review. I was so angry reading that review. It felt like they didn't even read the application. They said A, B, and C that I did, which I didn't. And I was like, did you even read the application? I got really, really angry. And you know what? You need to be angry at the situation, give out about it, and then walk away from it. That's the only advice I can give it, and try again. It's just, it is so annoying though. It does feel like that, Layla, though, yeah. All right. Because I think that they only see part of it and not a lot of it, or just like one question, and depending on the question you fail or not. As in the for the funding application specifically, Nada. Yeah. And what was really bad was I had 2 reviewers, and one of them was like the comment. It was polar opposite commentary. So some of the stuff that was complimented by one was counter-argued by the other. And it's kind of like, oh, for fuck's sakes, if I'm reapplying, how am I meant to take this criticism on board? When one pointed out that this was a great thing, while the other one pointed that this was a bad thing. It's hard. It's really hard. Sounds like Twitter reviewed it. I think it's just not experts in the field. That's the problem. I wrote this as if I was treating the application that experts were going to read it, and it wasn't experts in the field. I once submitted two identical internal job applications. For one, I got the promotion. The other suggested I didn't even meet the grade for an interview. The heck? Man. I have a suspicion that about dentists sometimes. I would love to do a test. Book an appointment with like 15 dentists and find out what they all ask of me to do. To be fair, I did do two dentists almost back to back recently, and almost everything was the same. Like, they identified the same issues, but the proposed solution was different for all of them. So yeah, at least it kind of clarifies that I think less conspiratorial about dentists after that. But yeah, the solution was terrible. One of them suggested a crown on my wisdom tooth. I couldn't believe it. It seemed a bit crazy to me. And then I went to the second dentist and I told her after she looked at my tooth that, you know, that's what the other dentist recommended. Like, why would you, like, your wisdom tooth's just gonna last another 2 years, tops. She recommended pulling it out. It was meant to go years anyway, but we've kept it in. She just recommended to pull it out because why not? Why risk infection? What happens when someone doesn't get funding? Do you just no? If you don't get funding, you missed it. You can apply to something different, yeah. Yeah. So if the funding that I did not get, I can reapply with that same idea. Not exact same, you have to switch it up, of course. But general, same idea to other funding bodies. But yeah, you just don't get it. You don't get a chance to reapply. I removed all 4 of them in one setting. Oh, the teeth in one sitting. Jesus. That's crazy. I got one removed and I was terrified. You are the reason my income tax is so high. Unfortunately, most of the funding I apply for isn't Irish government state. No worries. So I'm not the reason. And I pay my own taxes too. But yeah. Yeah, no, most of the funding I apply for isn't Irish government funded anyway. Why would you apply? Not being mean or anything, but what would you gain from it? So I need to be an active researcher. Okay, the reality is I actually have a permanent contract. I'm a full-scale lecturer now after my promotion. I don't actually have to work anymore. Sorry, that's right. I don't have to apply for funding anymore. Most universities, you have to be a researcher and then you do lecturing hours. But now that I have my permanent contract, I don't have to do any of it. But for me to progress as a scientist, as a physicist, the funding will help me continue my research. Specifically, what I'm applying for is vanadium flow batteries and electrode, basically different electrode treatment and analysis into implementing it into other battery technologies. The funding there is to basically progress technology, build my profile as a researcher, and allow for postdocs to have job opportunities and PhD students. Because ultimately, I shouldn't be doing almost any of the work. The idea behind it is that I should be managing a team. So the funding I always apply for is funding to do my research, but I'm choosing new victims. So postdocs, people who hold doctorates, or PhD students who want to get a doctorate. So those are the two things that my PhD funding is usually looking for. So other than that, there's no other gain. Full-time streaming. I'm a lecturer. I don't have to work anymore. There's an out of context quote. So the overall motivation is personal, academic. Academic. And career. So if I wanted to apply for professorship, it would be for that reason. I suppose it's for research purposes as well, to continue the research that we do for prosperity of mankind and all of that. If you very much so believe in your research as passionately as that. Up to world if we suddenly lost all the technology, like in that book, One Second Out. I don't know about the book. There was a Star Trek universe kind of thing like that before, but I have wondered. Yeah, don't know if I'm always sad about the information that we'll lose if technology stops all at once. That too, Eastwood. That too.
Jimmy, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Try and take over the world. But if I wasn't a full contract lecturer or a normal lecturer in a university, I would need to do research to be hired. Most people are only hired as lecturers in universities because they're researchers. So you apply for funding, you get research for 4 years, and that's your job. That's your contract for 4 years. Actually, 4 years is generous, but let's say you get a really good contract. So for 4 years, you do research. And then they take free labor from you. They make you teach a whole bunch of subjects while you're there. And then they say bye-bye once you lose your contract after 4 years, and that's it. That sounds bad. And most universities, like a lot of people in-house, will try and help you out. But generally speaking, that's actually, like, university, academia is cruel. So fucking cruel. Hi, old player. I'm a lazy person. I'm a lazy process-based engineer. I get as far as I needed after my role as management, and I'm not cut out for that. Yeah, no, there's definitely an element of, do I even want to? Because the reality of it is that I'm actually quite split. I do Twitch. I do social media. I do YouTube. I do Instagram. And I do a lot of science outreach. I go to schools as well, and I speak to all girls schools and talk about women in STEM. So my time is already taking up a lot. And I have to reflect on the fact that I'm not going to be an excellent researcher. There's only 24 hours. Like, look at the title of the stream. I wish there was 36 hours in the day. I wish, because then I could spend more time on those kind of things. But the reality of it is I'm not going to be an amazing researcher. So what I hope to do is, over the years of academia, is just to have a couple of small research-funded projects, specifically to graduate PhD students. I wouldn't mind creating a couple of baby doctors in my name. And yeah. And after that, I think that's it. I don't have the ambition of creating a huge research group and managing that. That I don't think. What do you need to be a great researcher? That's a great question. No life. Or at least a very, very patient and supportive significant other to make it possible. You need to be extremely smart and creative. You need to be a liar. Not a liar, but you need to sell yourself. You need to sell your project. Very good writing. Very good writing ability. Great connections. Great social person. Or not, maybe not even, well, yeah, social. What is that? Great, good politics. There we go. I was going to say, what's that mingling that you have to do that's kind of like shady? Networking. There we go. You need to work the crowd. Exactly. Surprisingly, being a good lecturer or a good teacher is nowhere on the list. Despite the fact that this is probably primarily what you will be doing. I don't know, Mythic. I don't think I've met anyone too crazy. I think that might be an illusion. Not illusion, what's it called? A weird media representation of scientists. Like, scientists are presented weirdly in social media and not even social media, to be honest. They're presented weirdly in TV shows and movies. So many of the bad guys are like super scientists, villains. And so many people always say that, this is why you need humanities, because STEM people are evil. And I think we have a different, really weird outlook on scientists, if that's what the conclusion is. Yeah, it's a very weird stereotype myth. Yeah, I'm not sure why it exists. I've met more eccentric people outside of academia than in academia, if that makes sense. Maybe it's like a conspiracy theory. It's like an anti-intellectual thing. Oh, look at this person. They're a mad, evil scientist. That's why you shouldn't go into science. Is that what it is? Pet Medjay. Pet. Maybe, or maybe I am screaming from inside a glass house. Maybe I'm the eccentric. Yeah, why is there always a mad scientist? And I have never met an evil scientist. Well, I mean, I've met jerks, but generally speaking, I haven't met an evil scientist, but I've met plenty of evil businessmen. Plenty. So why don't we have more evil businessmen in villain movies? I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, what we might do is I might make a cup of tea. It's still a bit early to drink alcohol. Bad guys should never be depicted using an Apple phone. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, and like we've seen plenty of politicians who are evil as well. Yeah, I don't know. How do you not get addicted to shows? Oh, when I was your age, I was addicted to TV shows. I loved TV shows when I was younger. I was a big anime fan as well. There was a lot of episodes of Bleach to catch up on. So I used to... Wait, I accidentally deleted a message. That's what I was, like, in case anyone was wondering why I froze there, I was trying to read why Medjay deleted that message, and I was like, is there something that I'm not getting about that message? You did. You accidentally deleted Chris's message. Chris, you're all good. It wasn't a bad message. It was an accident. And don't throw stones. Okay, I'll go make tea or make myself a beverage. And when we come back, we will boot up some games. We have a few games to play. We have Extinction Day and Elite Dangerous. So I'm thinking we play Extinction Day first. We'll play for an hour and a half. And then we'll boot up Elite Dangerous. I'm looking forward to trying it. So I think Elite Dangerous is a great game to play over the summer for occasional couple of hours. I think it's not a game that we can sit and play for 8 hours straight, I think. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll get addicted. Because scientists are smart? I don't get that, Orange. Is there a joke there that I didn't get? Gamba, will tofu appear with tea or alcohol? You know what? That's not I can't make alcohol. I know it's cheating, but I can't because Nathan is in the kitchen at the moment. He's cleaning. He's doing a big project at the moment, so I can't make alcohol anyway. Oh, Jesus, don't start with VR. I'm going to die if I play it in VR. So yeah, what we'll do is... Wait, actually, should we play Elite Dangerous first or Extinction Day? What do you think, chat? What do you guys prefer? Elite Dangerous first? Or taking over the world first? I think we'll do Elite Dangerous first. I just changed my mind. We'll do Elite Dangerous. Let's go. To YouTube, I'm saying goodbye because we're playing video games now. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I really hope you guys check out my new YouTube video on how to learn physics. And generally speaking, would love for support on the YouTube channel. Getting closer every day to being monetized. I really think me working hard this summer, streaming and uploading VODs, like proper YouTube video recorded things is yeah, I hope to get monetized. It'll be just so nice to, because I'm not monetized anywhere, you know, on TikTok, on Instagram, anywhere where I do education, I'm not monetized. It'll be just nice, even if it's just a couple of euros a week. It would be so nice to have some passive income for the work I do. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a little bit.